Yeah. Yeah, man, I do it for the fam. Tryna put food on my table, going ham. PYT says she knows who I am.
Hey guys, what is going on? This is Mike or Geekermon bringing you another Destiny video, and today we are going to be talking about the best PvP setup for the BLADEDANCER. So of course, my recommendation for the exotic, at least in Rise of Iron, is the Shinobu's Vow. This thing is extremely powerful, gives you a second skip grenade charge, and makes your skip grenades track like nobody's business. So if you haven't already, head to Xur or open up those exotic Ingrams and put on that Shinobu's Vow. Also, before we get started, I would recommend that you crank your intellect and your discipline. I don't really have all the different armor parts set up right now, but overall I would try to max your intellect and discipline, because with the BLADEDANCER, your grenades and your super are definitely your strength. The melee is good, blink strike is good, but you don't necessarily need it quite as often as you need the other two. Before we get started, if you do enjoy today's video, make sure and drop me a like. It means so much to me and it really helps this channel grow. I think we could get this video to 100 likes, guys. That would be awesome. And if you want to see more Destiny content like this, make sure you subscribe to join the Geek Squad. Alright, with all that to say, let's jump right into it. So with the BLADEDANCER, the first thing we're going to look at is the grenades. I would definitely recommend using the skip grenade. It is one of the most powerful grenades in the game right now. The tracking is absurdly good, and with the arc bolt being nerfed over the years and the flux grenade requiring quite a bit of accuracy, I would definitely put on the skip grenade. I think you're going to be pretty happy with your choice. When using the skip grenade, make sure that you are bouncing the grenade off of the wall or off of the ground. You don't want to be throwing this grenade directly at your opponent because it is just not quite as effective. It has to bounce and spread into the trackers in order for it to work. So if you're throwing it right at your opponent, you're going to have a hard time because the tracking is going to bounce and go way, way behind them and just not help you out at all. So if you're using skip grenade, make sure you know that. And the other grenade that's decent, I would say, is the flux grenade. The flux grenade is good. It reminds me of the fusion grenade from the Warlock or the Titan, but it's not quite as powerful right now, so I would probably just leave the skip grenade on. Alright, up next is a personal preference thing. Better Control and Blink are both solid options. I use Blink if I'm running a shotgun, and I use Better Control if I'm running a sniper rifle. Because when you're using a shotgun, you're going to want to blink out of trouble, and you can pull out your gun quite a bit quicker. With Better Control, it's good because when you're sniping, it's hard to recover from a blink and pull off a nice sniping clip. When it comes to the super, none of these are bad options. I have never used Showstopper before, so I could not tell you hardly anything about that. I want to say it's pretty much a primarily PvE perk. Vanish is great if you're running an invisibility build, which we'll talk about in just a second. But if you're running an overall talent and quick draw, high power, high impact build, you're going to want to run Razor's Edge because you can press R and have your arc blade fly out in front of you and hit opponents that you normally wouldn't be able to kill otherwise. When it comes to the melee, backstab is still broken as all get out. You can hit people in the face and it will trigger backstab, and you can hit them in the back and it won't trigger backstab. I'm not exactly sure who designed the hit detection for this, but what I can tell you is this thing about 30% of the time is a one-hit melee kill, which works out pretty good for you if you're playing normal PvP, if you're playing Trials of Osiris. For the most part, having 30% of the time a one-hit melee really puts you at an advantage. Escape Artist is good, but it's probably better in PvE, because a lot of times if you're meleeing somebody in a 1v1 and you beat them, then you don't really need to go invisible. If there are other enemies around and they see you go invisible, they're still going to shoot you down. So this hasn't helped me too much. I mean, any more than blinking out of a situation would. And then lastly, Fast Twitch. This is a great perk to combo with Hungering Blade, where your melees actually regen your health. This actually combos to give you your melee every couple seconds, which is very nice. But I've noticed, especially in Trials of Osiris, I don't usually use my melee every couple seconds. I'm using grenades and I'm wanting to get my super as quick as I can. And so I stick with backstab just because of how powerful it can be. Now you can tell up here my armor is maxed and my agility is maxed, but my recovery is very, very weak. That is one of the downsides to running the Blade Dancer, is your recovery time is very poor, but your overall neutral game is very strong. So I would definitely recommend running toughness and speed and toughness at all costs and really crank up your agility and your armor. Don't worry too much about your recovery. You can try to do a couple different things, like this might be a decent option to upgrade your recovery. But for the most part, your goal is to get in, get the kill, get out, and you can hide on the other side of the map and heal. Next, looking at the high impact, high talent build, you're going to want to put on Quick Draw and Hungering Blade. That way your melee kills and your Arc Blade kills actually regenerate your health, especially with Arc Blade when you're getting team shot. If you can just manage to get one enemy down, your health is going to start regenning right away. The Quick Draw perk is on a lot of the weapons. Last Word has single point sling, a lot of the snipers have Quick Draw, but if you put this on, then you're allowed to roll your snipers with other perks to help you get those kills. Quick Draw is probably one of the most popular options. If you're a sniper or a shotgunner, you're gonna wanna have your weapon ready right away. A lot of the times you lose those fights is because you're still struggling to pull out your gun. I know when I play as my Warlock, I have a hard time going in and pulling out the weapon a lot of times before I actually get domed or I get shotgunned. And I'm like, man, how did they shoot me first? Well, this perk is actually how they accomplish that. So if you're not going to run Invisibility, put on Quick Draw. You will be very happy. Fleet-footed is nice. It gives you an extra slide distance and it gives you a little more agility. But it doesn't matter how far you slide. If you can't get your shotgun up in time, you're probably going to die. So a lot of the professional players go with Quick Draw. And like I said, Hungering Blade is a solid option. Having your Arc Blade regen health is very, very useful, if not vital, for this super, especially in the current meta. Now real quick, I'm going to show you the other build that a lot of people run. If you put on these perks right here, it mixes it up just a little bit. You have almost everything the same except for the 3 columns that have invisibility perks. So first we have Stalker, which gives you invisibility after crouching in place. And we have Shadowjack, which stacks with Stalker to actually give you longer invisibility times. Now, I believe this gives you up to 15 seconds of being invisible. That means you're hard to see when people are looking right at you, and you're also really difficult to track on the radar. So these perks combined, you can crouch, go invisible, and for 15 seconds move around the map into a spot where your opponent will not be suspecting you to be at all. You can appear, get the kills in trials, you can get a double or even a triple down just because you've popped up out of nowhere. Now, Vanish is a nice perk that was buffed recently with, I think, Rise of Iron or the patch before Rise of Iron. When you actually call in your Arc Blade, if you have Vanish on, you will turn invisible. Now that, stacked with Shadowjack, makes your Arc Blade deadly. You can turn invisible and you can Arc Blade your way into the opponent base. They won't see you coming, and then you can swipe, 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 and take down all of their opponents. So as you can tell, the Blade Dancer has a lot of great perks, but some of them definitely pair better than others. So you need to know which perks you're going to use. So if you have on Vanish, go ahead and put on Shadowjack and put on Stalker. Make yourself an invisible player who likes to sneak around the map and not be seen. If you're going to go with the other build, which is kind of a high talent, high impact build, then you're going to want to have on the range for your Arc Blade, Quick Draw to get your weapons out, and Hungering Blade to help you survive. Both of those 2 options are probably your best bet as far as PvP is concerned with the Blade Dancer. One last thing before we go, my favorite weapon combo with the Blade Dancer is probably Last Word Sniper. Blade Dancers are known for being the old school gunslingers, except for, we have a gunslinger class, but Blade Dancers always have that Wild West feel to them, even more so, I would say, than the Golden Gun. And with that, the Last Word and a sniper rifle is the classic year 1, year 2 go-to, especially for hunters. So if you needed a couple weapons to put on with your Blade Dancer, try out the Last Word and a sniper rifle. It's pretty fun. Pulse rifle and shotgun is also a good build if you're doing the invisibility. You can't really go wrong with the Blade Dancer. So in the comments section, let me know what you guys like to run. And if you do enjoy this video, please hit that like button, and I will see you guys in the next Destiny video. Alright guys, peace.